walking?
No, I'm in the yard. My dog keeps putting her toy in the backyard. Fluffies don't live outside.
Oh, okay.
This
My
is not
bad.
even, it's not even a dog toy. It's a dog popsicle stuffed animal thing that my dog thinks is a dog toy, but it's not.
Because
It,
your dogs are crazy.
Matt had a day at work where they went to Dave and Buster's, and so they won a bunch of prizes, and this was one of them. And Lily's like, "Oh, cool, a new toy!" And so it became hers. She's really excited about life right now. She's like, "You're alive and home."
Running around the backyard, doing dog stuff.
Mm-hmm. I got a lot of poop to clean up.
Do you have a fenced-in backyard?
Yeah, big old fence. I didn't even have to build it. Look at that. Look at that beautiful fence.
Yeah, it's beautiful until you have to change all those boards.
Nah. I'll just let it.
I had to do it with ours. Two
Yeah.
sides of the fence I had to replace boards on.
Damn. I had that issue in Georgia. There was so many missing boards in this house we were renting, and then they wouldn't fix the boards. Well, the company that like managed the property, they weren't telling the senior chief that I was renting from that the boards need replaced. They were just ignoring it until finally I got on the phone because Lily and Benny got out of the yard, and I was like, "If you don't come and fix this fence, you are keeping me from doing my duty. The United States Navy, I'm going to get Jag on the phone." La, I threatened Jag. That afternoon, every single board was replaced.
Damn.
Yeah. I was tired. I had lived there for like 3 months at that point, and the dogs kept escaping, and I was like, "This is out of control. Like, you have to do something. I am fed up."
Out of control.
Out of control, man.
Are you wearing a sweatshirt?
Well, I'm hot now. I woke up cold, and now I'm hot. I got my
Tony's
coffee.
coffee.
Yeah. It's based out of Seattle. This is the
I'm
one that's
having
open.
Dr. Pepper.
Dr. Pepper. Just his pepper, nothing else. Or her pepper, I don't know.
And Cheetos.
This coffee has cocoa and caramel notes and full buttery body. Ooh, fancy.
Fancy.
I had a patient last night. I was messing around because she was fine, but she was getting admitted, and her dinner showed up, and her dinner was like this little container with like salmon. It was like a burger sized container where they shoved like salmon and broccoli, like a full meal. And she had like diced pears and applesauce and apple juice for her dinner. And I go,
Sounds like a pig's meal.
I know. I go, "Madame, I present to you your dinner." And I like came up like a server like at a fine restaurant. And she's like, "Oh, really?" And I go, "Yes, today you are presented with a fillet of salmon with a side of this and this and this." And I go, "Diced pears and applesauce." They're all in containers. And then I go, "Would you like any fine beverages?" And she's like, "What you got?" I got Shasta, Sprite,
and tap water.
And tap water. And she goes, "I'll take a Shasta, please." So I come up and I go, "This is our vintage of Shasta." And I go, "As you can see, it's diet. There's no sugars." And I like opened it and poured it so gently in the cup of ice and everything. She's like, "Oh, thank you." And I go, "If you would like to let it aerate so it becomes full body." The daughter was like, but me and the patient, we were all in on it. She loved it.
You're so extra.
Well, I mean,
hey, Helen. Helen's from Africa.
Oh, yo. Hey, Helen. How you doing? She didn't, we don't have TVs in the room. So there's like, it's either your family member or yourself to entertain. And it can get, they were just like, just hanging out. They weren't like chatting or anything.
Well, they can have their phone nowadays.
Yeah, but it's not the same. It's not the same as vegging out in front of the TV.
Just veg out in front of YouTube.
I know I did offer to use the computer that's in the room and, and set up YouTube for her. I was like, I can put up YouTube if there's something that you
But my
like to
brother's
watch
got
on
all these
YouTube.
random videos you can watch.
Yeah. I mean, there's like there's movies on YouTube if you
Yeah.
want to pay for it. Like, if you want to watch YouTube, you can pay for it.
The YouTube Premium.
Yeah. Or you can rent. You can rent YouTube movies for like $3. It's like really old movies, like from the 70s that nobody watched.
Mom
I'm like,
watches
I don't
them.
know. I was like, where did y'all find this movie? Is this a real movie? I don't think this is real. It's like
Black and white films.
like the movies that Mystery Science 3000 watches that you're like,
Oh,
this
okay.
existed.
Those B-rated movies.
Yeah. Attack of the Killer. Yeah. That's 50 feet tall. Oh, you know what?
Nope.
Maybe I should do a bigger pot. Matt might want coffee.
You might.
I did 3 scoops. I did 2 scoops. I don't know how many scoops I did. I did some scoops. If I
I don't
do
know how
5
much coffee you need in
scoops,
there.
if I do 5 scoops, I can do an XL carafe. This is science, everybody. This is how many math scoops?
Do you have your own grinder, or do you buy the coffee already ground up?
We have a grinder, but I buy it ground up because I don't have time for that.
Yeah, it takes so long.
It's loud.
Wake him up.
It's one of those little. It's one of these little baby coffee grinders. Where is it? It's like a little one that's like this tall, and you like press a button over and over and over again.
Yeah.
It's not like the best coffee grinder because it only grinds to one grind. There's not multiple
Right.
grinds.
Right.
Sometimes I'll go to the store because they have the coffee grinder there and get their whole food, their whole beans,
Their
you
whole
know,
food,
the whole food and grind
all of
it.
it ground up.
Yep. I grind up a whole meal in the grinder and they get mad about it because it gets really messy. There's like raw meat in there and
This
stuff,
isn't
but
a
I mean,
juicer.
they're
Putting
like,
carrots through it.
ma'am, this is for coffee beans only, not for your meal. And I go, well, I need to eat soft foods. They're like, you have a whole mouth of teeth. I'm like, you don't know my life. I'm gonna cook one egg.
You're gonna put
Just
that in the
one.
coffee?
I'm gonna have coffee. I'm gonna have an egg. Ooh, and cornbread because I made cornbread the other day.
You make it from scratch, or use one of those little like Jiffy boxes?
I made it from scratch in that I bought the cornmeal and I have the flour and the baking powder and all that kind of stuff. I
Right.
didn't grind in my grinder corn into meal. I didn't do that. I'm not that fancy. What part
You
of
could be if you
Africa
wanted to
is
be.
I could be. What part of Africa is Helen from? Do you know? Like most people are
She
from
told me.
Nigeria that I've ever spoken to from Africa.
She told me, but I can't remember.
I had
She kind
someone
of just
come
drops
on.
in and says hi and leaves. She doesn't hang out very long.
Oh. Oh man, I have a new trash bag in the trash. That's on me. Bum, 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 bum,
Do you have a
bum.
separate bin for recycling?
Yes, I do. I have an old like bathroom trash can that I washed and whatever, and we set aside for recycling. And then we have a giant. Our recycling bin for outside is giant. It's like the 96-gallon
Okay.
garbage can.
Do they
Full.
recycle glass?
Mm-hmm. They do glass, plastic, aluminum, paper, cardboard.
Huh.
I don't know
They
why.
won't do. They won't do a glass in my town.
Yeah, they didn't when I lived in Georgia either because they were like, I got a piece of paper and it was like the glass keeps breaking and yada yada yada. So please deliver your glass directly to the recycling center yourself. But then like all my
Green.
neighbors would keep recycling glass. And so the notice said like if you keep recycling glass, we'll start fining you
Damn.
for yeah, in Augusta anyway. I can't speak for where you are. But you know, all the Richies by the golf course, they're like, fuck you, recycling, we do what we want. So. They would also
I've
I
tried
had neighbors that would
I've
put
tried to
trash
sneak
in the
glass.
recycling too.
I tried to sneak glass into the recycling, and the guy literally pulls it out, leaves it in the bin, drives off. He'll go through my recycling, pull all the glass out.
Because he knows you are a
guy.
sneaky glass recycler. You're over here trying to cut him. Skywoods. That's like a location. That's like a description
Skywoods.
of a place.
We're doing good,
I-
Sky. This is my sister.
I mean, I know lots of people named Sky. It's a beautiful name. It's just, I love how people's names come together. I don't know if that's their real name. If their real name is Skywoods, like, I don't know if that's their legal name.
Right.
But if it is, that's also a description. It was like, what was the lady that was like stealing all the paperwork in Augusta? She was like Charity something another, but it was like her whole name was a sentence.
Her whole name was a sentence.
Oh, Skylene. Is it like German, like "een," like you're pronouncing the E, or is it "n," like more American?
I bet it's more American.
Maybe. I never know. I meet so many people from so many places doing so many things.
Cheetos. Look at this. Look at my fingers.
Why are you eating Cheetos for lunch? That is not a lunch food. That is what you eat when you are playing Xbox. Skylene. Aha. It was Skylene. It's got the German E. No. Oh, Skylene. Oh, god damn it.
Now she said, no, yes, no, yes.
Man, I don't know. I just live here. I'm just existing on this planet.
It's like Sky then lean. Skylene.
No, Skylin.
No,
Like just
lean.
Lynn. No, Lynn.
Lean. Look at it. She says it right there in the
Oh, I
text.
said Skylene. Okay.
Jeez, we'll get it right, Skylene.
Look, I just woke up. No, we don't. No, what?
So you did the spider thing? You've done the spider thing before?
The what thing?
The spider thing with the headlamp.
Yeah, we were in. Where were we? Starts with an O in Florida. Ocala National Forest or
Orlando?
State Forest. It was in Orlando. There's a lot of places that start with the letter O, but in Florida, but it was not Orlando. It was in the middle of nowhere, outside of Orlando, between Orlando and Cocoa. And it's Lean, Skylene. We got it.
We got it.
We got it. I just have an empty cup. I haven't even poured my coffee.
You were trying to sip out of an empty cup?
The coffee's ready though. But anyway, we're at the State Forest campground, and my husband's like, "Look at the ground." And I was like, "What?" He goes, "No, look." He goes, "Look." He like moved the headlamp away, and then he like brought it back, and he goes, "See all that stuff that's sparkling?" And I was like, "Oh yeah, it's like glitter on the ground." He goes, "Spiders," and I was like,
All
"Ah!"
spiders. I wish the camera would pick it up though.
If you do it from like an angle, like you're looking under the bed, it makes them all light up more, and you don't see the white on the ground.
Yeah, you got to get it at the right angle when it hits their eyes.
Yeah.
But man, there's like 100 or something in the backyard. You'll never see them during the day though.
What kind of spiders are them? That's
I think those are wolf spiders actually.
Oh, aren't they fine? They're not going to harm you.
I think they can bite you.
You were over there. You were all up in their grill, Malcolm. Like
Now I'm not gonna die.
They were like, and you were just like,
I'm right here.
There you are.
There's the spider.
Like,
check it out.
They're like, you blew our cover.
Well, I'm fascinated that there are so many of them, but they don't have webs, and I don't see any bugs. So
they must live in the dirt. They must be dirt spiders. They live in the dirt. They live in the dirt. They hang out in the dirt.
Black widows build spiders in nooks and crannies and just kind of this clump of web, not like a big web you'd see outside.
Black widows.
Yeah, you don't want to mess with those.
We don't have any out here that I'm aware of. We don't have. Well, they're not native to out here, the brown recluse, but I guess there's been sightings because they hop on people's stuff as they move across the country, I guess. So who knows? You are so tropical. You know what? Your shirt is so South Carolina right now. Are those palm
It is,
trees?
isn't it? I don't know.
You,
I got a bunch of random shirts.
I mean, it's a really nice shirt, but you are the embodiment of a guy in Charleston, South
Nah,
Carolina.
I'll have to give this shirt away then if that's the case.
No, no, it's a nice shirt though. It looks good. Are you in the college town?
Right outside of College Town. I'm in
okay.
Winterville. Winterville is just to the east of Athens.
And they're just hoping it's always winter there. That's why they named it. They're like, if we name it
It's the
Winterville,
city
it
of
will always.
Magnolias, is what their claim to fame, Magnolia Gardens. And I've seen one magnolia.
They need to work on this. That's not how that works. There's a town in
one.
Yeah, there's a town in North Carolina that's like, we are the crepe myrtle capital, which is pretty but also invasive. But they also have a lot of crepe myrtles, so they
I
leaned
hate
into
crepe
it.
myrtles. I got them in my yard, and they sprout up.
Yeah,
They spread like bamboo.
They're incredibly invasive, apparently.
Yeah, yeah, and they'll sprout up little pieces, and grow more crepe myrtles as they go, and they'll invade your gardens and stuff. You can't kill them. It's crazy. We had one that was in the backyard. All that was left was the stump, but the roots were still there, and these little sprouts kept popping up. We just couldn't stop it. I had the stump ground down and ground it out. It's still sprouting up. Yeah. So we laid a tarp on top of it for like a year.
Bye, Skylene.
Oh,
bye, Skylene.
Bye, Skylene. Yeah. For like a year. And then we had meant to build a garden on top of it sooner than that. But
no, you had to kill it.
We have a raised garden now. We had the tarp at the bottom. We left the tarp.
Oh, wow.
We put about a foot worth of soil on top of that. It's about a foot deep. And planted a bunch of flowers and lavender and stuff like that in there.
Nice. It's gone
no crepe
now.
myrtle stuff. Yeah. I had to completely shield it from the sun and water. I had to put it in the darkness.
Put it in the darkness. You should have thrown them spiders.
And my neighbor's got them in her backyard, which hang over the pool.
Oh,
so you got all these little
flowers.
You get all this garbage coming off those trees just falling into the pool all the time.
My biggest complaint about crepe myrtles is how people trim them, because they just pop them and then they look stupid. They are awful. And you're not even supposed to do that to any tree. Now the big fad is pollarding. People are trying to defend pollarding, but it's a type of tree trimming that's meant, you cut it practically all the limbs off, so it's just the trunk. It's what I did essentially to the fig trees when I was trying to kill the fig trees. And then it would grow only suckers, but the suckers grow straight up. But because sucker branches are so weak and bendable, you can cut them and weave them into baskets. That's the whole point of pollarding. And it's primarily done on like willow trees for whatever reason. I guess those are the branches, they grow more straight or something. But there's people who are like, no, it's not tree topping, it's pollarding. It's fine. They do it in agriculture. I'm like, that it still kills the tree and creates widowmakers.
Chopping it off.
Yeah, you're still creating very dangerous branches that are going to fall on your house and on your body and kill you and everyone you know.
On your body. I'm just going to go stand underneath this pollard tree.
Would you like this broken eggshell?
I'm good.
I finally broke my egg.
You should get chickens.
I don't have a chicken coop.
They're what?
Anymore. We had a chicken coop, but we got rid of the chicken coop.
Oh.
Matt doesn't want chickens, but I did tell the story about your murderous chicken. And how like all your chickens are now running rampant around your old town. And
yeah.
That's their town now. That they are the chickens that run that town.
Until a fox or something gets a hold of them. I doubt they're still around.
They're still around. I'm calling
Virginia.
Right now.
Hey, Virginia.
Virginia's here. We
I
went
can't remember where
from
Virginia's from. Where are you from, Virginia? I can't remember.
Virginia. Obviously, it's in her name.
Oh.
We've talked about this.
My name's Hawaii.
Sky
I
was
live
from the
in
sky
Carolina.
and the
I live in
woods. These are descriptive names.
Arizona. Okay, cool.
That's not Virginia at all. Virginia, what is up with this?
She didn't choose the name. It was chosen for her.
Was it?
Well,
Maybe.
I'd say I'm pretty sure it was chosen for her.
Some people are changing
A lot of
their
things
names.
are chosen for us. A lot of things are chosen for us as when we're born and grow up.
Yeah. Like the town we have to live in that's falling apart.
Yeah. Good riddance to that town.
I know, right? It's falling apart in like the weirdest way. They're trying. My friend moved back. I still am confused by this. I'm like, I still would have left, but anyway. She moved back after living in New Hampshire. And
why?
Well, it's because they were moving back to be with her husband's parents, and apparently the parents were going to move closer to that town. And then at the last second, they're like, "Nah, we're not moving after all." So they like upended their lives in New Hampshire to be next to them to take care of them. And they're like, "Yeah, we're not going to do it. We're going to live our independent lives." But now she's like next to her family and her sisters.
Thank you, Virginia. They're cutting grass out here and I'm sneezing.
Lawns are the devil.
It looks nice though.
I guess. But no one ever uses them. No one goes play. There's a video.
Yeah. A couple of days ago, this park was just full of people, full of kids.
Oh,
okay.
Okay.
I don't know if it was like a daycare or something like that. A bunch of kids out here. Yeah. They're running all over the place. One little baby kid, he's like a year and a half old, just walking, had his huge goose egg on his head because he already fell once. And as I was chatting on the phone, he fell like 2 more times, kept looking up at me like I was going to do something for him.
You're just like,
damn, dude. He's going to put a helmet on that kid.
You just carry helmets around and be like, "Here you go, kid. Put this on." Mom sees their kid walking around with a new helmet on. Like, who put that on you? Actually, you should keep it on you.
Free on the house. You can have it.
You're like, I'm just doing a customer service here, like a service to the town.
Courtesy.
Yeah. Your kid has like 3 goose eggs, so I figured he needed a helmet.
I mean, he had lumps on his head. It was pretty bad. And she was just over there chatting with her friend, and the kids running rampant. This little baby's just like thump,
thump, thump. We get conspiracy theorists because they're one, and they fall down and hit their head a lot.
There's this one lady on YouTube Live. I can't remember her screen name, but she's an older lady, and she's totally wrapped up in conspiracy theories. And it's just, I don't know if she's being genuine or not, or I think she is being genuine. I think she's a total nut job.
Probably.
She was watching, you know how some people say The Simpsons predicted different stuff in their show, things that happen over time. Mm-hmm. She was dissecting a Simpsons episode and referencing it to how AI is going to take over our world, and we're already living in a simulation. And she's going all this stuff and everything like that.
She's in the Matrix. We're in the Matrix.
But she had like 400 people watching her at a time. A huge group of people watching her. And a lot of them were trolling her or making fun of her and stuff. But yeah, she was super serious. And then she would pause the video and talk about it. She'd play like 3 seconds of it. And with like Homer in there and stuff, doing stupid crap. He's like, this is what's going to happen.
Oh my God.
Lady. She's retired. She was streaming out of a garage or something like that. It was,
I don't know. People are wild. People do get hung up on the whole like Simpsons predicting stuff phenomenon.
Look at all your conspiracy theories. But I tried. I watched it for a few minutes. I was just in shock. I just didn't know. I didn't know how to take it. I was waiting for like, oh, just kidding, or laughing off or something. But she was dead serious.
Just kidding, everybody. I'm not crazy. I don't have an arsenal of guns waiting for the next holy war.
I don't have a fallout shelter in my backyard. For the apocalypse,
I mean,
doomsday prepper.
She might have a fallout shelter if she lives in the middle of nowhere and there's tornadoes.
Well, that'd be a tornado shelter, not a fallout shelter.
Is it a tornado shelter if you can double it as a fallout shelter?
Yes. Did you watch that live stream I did? I don't think I saved it, but there's actually a missile silo that you can buy, and it's for sale for like $1.3 million. And it's an actual missile silo. They painted the inside of it, and it's got different levels and rooms, and you can see down at the bottom of the silo. And two questions came to mind: is how they got the rocket in there in the first place, and how they get the rocket out without blasting it off.
They blasted it. We had a secret blast.
It has one entrance on the top of the ground. And it's just this little, it's just big enough for a doorway and some steps to lead down.
Have you seen that TV show?
I think it's in Oklahoma.
There's a TV show based off of a book where it's like post-apocalyptic, and there's all those like missile silos. It's called Silo, and they live underground, like a whole civilization of people. But there's like multiples of them. And the premise of the show is, Virginia's
okay, Virginia, thanks for stopping by. Check out some other videos. It's good to see you again, or see your chat anyway, not actually see you. But
she doesn't want to be seen.
She doesn't want to be seen. I sent out like 3 invites yesterday trying to get somebody to join in. One of my friends, Bobby, is I deployed with. He jumped on, and it was kind of cool to see him on there. So yeah, but I was telling Rachel about some of these other guys that and serves passed away, like liver cancer and some other stuff.
Oh yeah.
Never said a word about it. And then, like one of my friends in Johnson City, his name was Chris, and I'd known him for years through the Army and stuff. I always chatted with him back and forth. But it had been a few months, maybe 6 months or something, before I had texted him or anything like that. So I started texting him because, hey man, what's up? No answer. I kept going, and it wasn't like him to not answer, you know. And then when I contacted some other guys that live in the area and went to that unit, they're like, no man, he passed away. I was like, what? Damn.
You're just texting a ghost. Now if he responds, you gotta be worried.
His wife ended up calling me, and she was talking about what happened and everything like that. She said his cell phones get all these messages and calls, but they don't have the passcode to get in it.
Oh,
and so it's just and there's like pictures and stuff in there and things like that. I mean, there are places that can crack your phone and get into it, but you're gonna pay for it, you know. Just like that. What was that?
I'd pay for it.
Some shooter a few years back in California, and the FBI got a hold of his iPhone. They couldn't get in. Apple said, "We're not going to open it up for you." It's against their policy. Remember that? And then there's a company in Israel that has created this technology called Pegasus, and it can infiltrate anything on the market around the world. It can crack and open up anything.
That's dangerous.
It's super dangerous. And they lease it. They lease the program out to certain companies and countries with stipulations that they can cancel your contract and use of it. But it's super crazy. Look up Pegasus. They can log into phones. They can be watching you, you know, they can log into any phone at any time, watch any camera. They can pinpoint your location. They can see everything you're doing. Home cameras, everything. It can infiltrate everything. This
is why I had that little Post-it thing on my camera on my laptop.
Post it on your camera. But yeah, it's super creepy, man. If you look up Pegasus, this is not a conspiracy. They're just out there. It's actually a program. But some people in Israel, some smart people came together and made the program. I bet the United States probably has a similar program, but they're not talking about it. But yeah, it was on NPR or something like that. They were talking about it, Pegasus, and how dangerous it is, and only certain entities can use it. But they have to abide by like the Geneva Convention and a few other little things, you know, too. So
every time we get good technology, someone always uses it for something bad. They're always trying to murder someone with it, or a whole country, or
murder a whole country.
There's always something nefarious used for it. The dude's like, I was able to split atoms. They're like, yes, H-bombs. Or A-bombs. He's like, oh, that's not what I meant for this to do.
That's not
I need to make a bomb. They're like, good on you, man. Later, you're going to get a movie made about you.
Yeah. Oppenheimer, wasn't it?
Yeah. Just trying to be a scientist.
Nuclear weapons freak me out. It's like that missile silo, and there's a book. an audiobook called Raven Rock. Have I told you about that one? Are you into audiobooks at all?
Mm-hmm. I haven't heard of it.
Raven Rock is classified information that's been declassified over time, and it's talking about all these hidden bunkers and silos around the United States that the U.S. government uses in case of a nuclear attack.
Mm-hmm.
And they were built in the 60s and stuff like that during the Cold War, and all these measures and things like that the government takes in case the president gets attacked or the country gets attacked and different things. It's really wild to listen to how all these companies, like the blast doors,
mm-hmm.
They said smart blast doors can withstand a nuclear blast, and say, for the bunkers and stuff. I can't remember the company, the name, but they tested their door out one of those Nevada testing grounds, dropped a bomb on it, was perfectly fine, and they won the contract for these underground bunkers and stuff. And these doors were like 100 feet or something crazy like that.
Damn.
Solid steel doors. It's just wild.
I don't know, man. You know how the government likes to pick the lowest bidder? They're like, oh yeah, we tested it.
When you're secretly spending money, there's not really a cap.
You
know what I'm saying? The military says it has this much of a budget, but I'm guessing the budget's way higher that we don't know about.
Oh, it's definitely way higher. Yeah. It's higher because they buy like fake trees for the office at the end of the fiscal year to use up all that money that they didn't need. I was like, well, we got these fake ficus trees. We started putting Christmas lights on them. I guess we'll decorate them.
Stinky Ann's on here. Hey, Stinky. I'm in Georgia and she's in Washington. That's my sister.
We're having brunch where I have the breakfast and he has the lunch.
Yep, and my lunch was Cheetos.
That's not lunch.
I'll have the little crumbs left in the bag, so I'll tilt the bag and eat those crumbs later. I don't want to do that on camera. He's from Ohio.
Snack. That's not a lunch.
It is. We've been having big dinners at night, so I try to eat a light lunch.
What did you have for dinner last night?
We had she had a coconut curry with salmon.
Nice. Oh, she eats salmon too?
Oh yeah, she'll eat fish. And then I'd have to look on my messages. She's got something planned for tonight as well. So
I went to this restaurant last night because I didn't bring my lunch with me to work. And I was like, oh, I'll get this pesto fettuccine, but it comes with chicken, and I don't want the chicken part. So I called them. No, I called them ahead and I go, can you make this pesto fettuccine without the chicken? Because sometimes, they pre-make batches.
Right.
I didn't know how this restaurant worked. So they were like, well, let me look and see. And they talk and they're like, yeah, we can make that. And he kept saying Alfredo. And I was like, no, the pesto. I want the pesto, not the Alfredo. Because the Alfredo was already vegetarian and I didn't want cheese. He's like, all right, I got you. Yeah, the pesto. And I was like, okay. So I walk up there to the restaurant. And sure enough, it's a Alfredo sauce where they I guess put the tiniest scoop of pesto in it. So it had green little specks. I was like, this is Alfredo with basil leaves. This is not a pesto.
Not a pesto at all.
It's not a pesto at all. I was so disappointed. But by that point, I already had the food and I'd already walked back to work.
You know what's crazy? If you order something like that and you say, hold the chicken, and then they charge you extra for holding the chicken.
Yeah, that's why.
Where do you keep that part?
No, that's why they were like, I don't know how to charge this. I think they charged me for just the regular fettuccine Alfredo that they had on.
Which they should.
Yeah, I'm like, or just if you're gonna charge me, just charge me whatever the price is for the chicken one, and just don't put chicken in it. I've already accepted that it's $1 million billion.
Right.
All of your prices are
organic
high.
Food. Why does organic food cost more when there's less put into it?
I know. It's a
They're
scam.
Not using a bunch of pesticides and stuff. It's supposed to be organic, right? So you don't have to do as much to it.
That's the thing. They use a bunch of pesticides, and because they use the weak pesticides, the ones that they found out they don't do really well, they have to use more land. So they cause more environmental damage because they have to cut down more trees and plow over more prairies to have this farmland when if you just used inorganic pesticides, you use less land.
It's a catch-22. Do I
Yeah.
pollute the streams and rivers, or do I just demolish the forest? You know.
I don't know. I kind of want to keep the forest. My dogs are in the garage. They're just they're just in the garage. What are you doing in there?
Just looking at you. Is he afraid to come in?
Yeah, that's Lily. You know who that is. Look at that. Look at the fear in her eyes.
No.
She's like, well, you were out here. Come on in. No,
like, I don't want to come in. I want to go out in the yard and play.
It's because
do you have like a pet door in the garage?
Well, that's an old one. That's a cat door from like the previous homeowner.
Right.
And we do have a dog door, but it's in the cabin out back. Because the guy who bought the house was renovating it, and then he put too much money in it. So then he was like, I need to rent this house out so I can make some money. So he built a cabin in the back that has like a bathroom. It has a shower and a toilet. Suite. Yeah, but the thing is, the toilet's not plumbed. It's a composting
dry
toilet.
Mm-hmm. A compost toilet. Yeah. Okay.
So we don't use it because I don't have time to be dealing with wood chips. I'm not doing that.
You had a truckload of mulch dropped off at your house. What are you talking about?
No, that's different. You gotta have like sawdust for the.
Well, then it's not wood chips, is it?
No, don't. Why are you going back outside? She won't come in now. But anyway,
she wants you to go outside with her.
I know she does. Come on. Benny thinks that green bath mat that we use as a kitchen mat is his bed. So every time I'm in the kitchen, he lays on it. And so the other day, my friend was here, and I was like, we were tripping over Benny because he won't get out of the way. Look at him; he's sitting on it right now.
This is my bed.
He's like, this is where I sit. This is what I do. Anyway, so he was like in the way, and I was like, you know what? I got a solution because he's gonna sit on it anyway. We shoo him away. He goes around the house all the way to and makes a big loop to go back to it. He doesn't leave. He's just like, oh, I'll run around. So I just moved the mat outside of the kitchen and he stayed outside the kitchen. And Matt goes, now he thinks it's his bed because you just moved his bed outside of the kitchen. I was like,
did I tell you that I was playing with AI websites yesterday or day before?
No.
Well, you can get on these. You can look up these sites. Most of them are free.
That's how they get you.
You can type in something in this text box. Give it a couple minutes, and it'll create this animation based on your text. So I was like, okay, I've seen a couple videos. People have done it. I said, I want a cat shooting a poodle. And so it took a few minutes, but then it made this little 5-second clip of this orange cat holding a pistol, shooting at a poodle, but the poodle was like running around in circles. I tried to do
it. Didn't say the poodle was to react.
I tried to get it to make some other things, but it wouldn't do it.
Oh man!
I tried to get it. I was like, all right, I want a car falling out of a hot air balloon. I'm trying to think of something crazy and wacky.
Yeah.
And it just had a hot air balloon. It wouldn't do a car at all. Oh. So I said, I want an elephant. I want an elephant in a hot air balloon. It gave an elephant with balloons, but not in a hot air balloon. Yeah.
So intelligent.
So I'll try to get into a bunch of other things. I just got lucky with that one about the orange cat shooting a poodle, and I saved that one. So if I'm gonna play around, maybe I get a collection of them, make a little short video of all these different AI collections with wacky, text boxes
wacky
of what I want
things. People do AI art. They'll do these images where it's like a teacup bedroom, but like it's a giant teacup that's your bed. And it's like all this ostentation shit. And I go, there's no way this is not functional. How are you going to get inside this teacup? How are you getting in there?
Well, the teacup ride at Disney World, they open a door on the side.
You open the side of your bed. Your bed has a door. Or like someone did a unicorn toilet, but like it's clearly AI because there's no plumbing underneath the unicorn that would attach to so it's just this weird like carousel unicorn with a toilet seat as a saddle.
There was there's this one guy shows us different websites. He found another website that'll make a comic book type page, with action figures and the anime and all that kind of stuff. Just steel frame, chat bubbles and whatnot. And you can just put whatever you want it to say, and it'll create this scenario and whatnot, and make these little chat boxes for you.
Do you remember
there's no need to be able to draw anymore. You just let the computer draw for you.
I don't need to have art. I have AI. AI can do everything for me. Do you remember those chat rooms that were like little comic strips? Do you remember that in the 90s?
Kinda.
Back in the day. Because like back in the day, there was all these weird chat rooms, and I would come visit you and Peter, and I'd be on those chat rooms all day because we didn't have internet in Adamsville. There was one that was like designed to look like a comic book, so you would pick your comic character, and you'd have little bubbles. It looked like
I don't remember that
comic strip. It was pretty cool. I don't remember what it was, but it was some random. It's probably you got so much malware on those computers.
Yeah,
they're just littered with cancer. They're cancer computers now.
Dad got his account hacked or something. He went out and spent $1,000 on another computer. I tried helping him years ago with computers. Every time I tried to help him in the past, it backfired. So I was like, yeah, do what you gotta do, man.
Yeah. Well, now he tries to ask Matt, and because they were trying to when CrowdStrike happened, someone called immediately and were like, "Oh, we're from Microsoft, and you didn't have this thing to protect your computer, and it's like $900." And so it was a text message first, and then it was a phone call. But he like texted me and Matt, and we were like, "No, Microsoft. First of all, Microsoft didn't do the thing, and also they're not going to text you to spend money on a product because of some other company. Like that's not how Microsoft works. Although at this point, who knows? But I go, I will verify. There are a lot of Indians at Microsoft, so they got that pegged to the T."
Well, people come in the post office and like, it said I had to track this package, but I don't remember even getting a package. And it told me to put, I said, man, that's a scam. We don't text or email you. Yeah. And it's like stuff. They'll claim they know that everybody gets packages because of Amazon stuff now. Everybody gets packages. So they'll random text these people saying that your package was unable to be delivered. Please click here to verify your address. And then they click on it, and then it's like, for $19.95, we can get this package rerouted to your house, and they'll pay the $19.95. Well, then you just gave all their credit card information to somebody. There's no package. It was never real to begin with. And they get scammed out of money. Yeah.
I just delete those. You can report them on Apple. I don't know if you can report them on Samsung, but you like go to swipe to delete it, and there's like a little report button.
Google lets you report spam as well, yeah. And block spammers, stuff like that.
I've gotten fewer of them. Right now I'm getting spammed by the Democratic Party.
I delete all the political ones, every one of them.
And the Republican. The Republicans have caught on to texting, so now they're texting me.
Finally caught on.
Yeah. Well, it's funny because like I register different parties based on where I live. So that my vote, I can like play the game of cards basically. So in the Northeast, I lived in a very Republican county, even though it was New Jersey. So I registered Democrat because that was the minority, and I wanted to try to get that built up more or whatever, and voted that way. And then when I got to Florida, I really wanted to vote in the Florida presidential primaries because I knew whoever the Democratic nominee was going to be Hillary. That was a no-brainer. So why would I vote in that? There's no point in a primary, right? So I registered Republican so I could vote in their primaries and try to get Marco Rubio to be the president. Failed, but that was my attempt.
Failed.
Look, Marco Rubio.
That's why I don't vote anymore.
Marco Rubio sounds and almost looks like Matt Damon, and I really wanted him to become president so that Matt Damon could play him in the
On
movie.
SNL.
He sounds. Tell me, you go listen to Mark Rubio's voice and tell me you don't kind of hear a little bit of Matt Damon in that voice. He's got a little bit of Matt Damon in him. I don't know how. They sound the same. But so when I registered Republican, I was getting all these like, "Happy birthday, Lydia," because they get all your information, right? They're like, "Happy birthday, Lydia." They sent me birthday cards. I was like, "Oh, I see what you're doing, Republicans. You really tapping into this Pony Express demographic. They love their little cards and their little
Right, right,
like,
right,
oh, you know me. You know when my birthday is. You know I got married.
right.
You wish me a happy anniversary. That's so sweet of you." Meanwhile, Dems
They
are
care
like,
about me.
yeah, Democrats are like sending me memes and shit. They're like, "You're the youth. You like memes."
Yeah,
I was like, "Oh, okay. This was a good social experiment. I like this."
I'm going to do a social experiment. I'll
On
tell you. I
on
won't say.
what?
I'm going to relocate.
You don't want the gazebo to hear it?
Yeah, that's it. So
That's a
I'm going
nice
to do.
gazebo.
It's actually a pavilion.
Oh, nice.
Gazebo's over there. Somewhere.
Oh, okay. You didn't want the pavilion to hear.
Well, there were a couple people sitting in there on their phones too. But anyway, so I got I had a T-shirt made, a plain white T-shirt, black letters. It says "I don't vote" on the front. And on the back, it's going to say "Change my mind." So I'm going to take my camera and everything and my microphone, go into downtown Athens, with all these college students and people, and do my little social experiment and see what people have to say. Make a video
Get
out
you
of
to
that.
vote.
Yeah, change my mind.
Yeah,
because I don't vote anymore. I think it's all a scam. It doesn't really matter. Corporations and the 1% own this country, and they're going to get what they want no matter who's in office.
I will say this. I was listening to Trevor Noah's podcast. It's a really great podcast, and I highly recommend it. But they had a person on here that addresses like the misinformation, malinformation, disinformation stuff. That's what they there's those 3 words have unique meanings. And they were talking about like voting, and the lady said something pretty interesting. She goes, when you have like a fresh start, like for example, the president of the United States dropped out, he's not rerunning, and so they're like, who's going to be the next candidate? And it seemed kind of obvious it was going to be Kamala that was going to be the next candidate, but nobody really knew for sure. And so that's when the people's like opinions matter most. And even though they didn't do an official primary, they were paying attention to like social media and commentary and stuff, because the people were talking about who they thought would be the next best candidate. And there was this massive Zoom call of professional Black women who all got on. There was 40,000, and they all like had a big fundraiser. They're like, nope, it's Kamala. She's been VP. She's earned it. She's been right there. She's the obvious next candidate, and they really pushed for it. And so the Democrats, so in a way, we had an unofficial primary, and that's when people's voices are the strongest. And then once that's been heard, that's when the money gets to come in and speak. And that when this person put it in that perspective, I was like, this kind of makes sense. Like on some parts, when it comes to politics, there is a moment in time when we have the strongest voice, and that's when they don't know what to do. And so that's when we have a chance to make our voices heard. Yeah. And also small government. Your small local government, you have the strongest impact because it's these people who do like your city, county, and state politics. These people end up graduating up into like the federal biosphere. So you have the biggest impact as a voter when you vote for your mayor and your city council members and all that stuff than you do maybe like for the bigger stuff. So you're pretty much like prepping your local politicians to be your future federal politicians.
That makes sense.
Yeah. And the local stuff affects you more directly. So if you don't vote for federal stuff, I can get why you wouldn't want that. But I would say everyone should vote in local elections at the bare minimum. Like if that's the only thing you vote in is like local elections, like your mayor and stuff, because those people literally directly affect you. They don't care about the rest of the state. They care about your little podunk town, America.
Yeah.
Are they going to try and create an ice town and bankrupt your town?
I gotta go. I gotta log off here. I gotta get back to work.
Obsessed with parks?
Yeah, right.
Did you watch that show? They had the guy who was like the kid mayor, and he like created Icetown and then bankrupted his whole town.
No, I don't. I didn't see that.
It's hilarious. That show's hilarious. You should watch it. I'm gonna get you to watch Parks and Rec.
You are, huh? Okay, we'll see.
I'm looking on it.
Well, I gotta run.
All right. Well, it was great having brunch with you. I got my coffee. I can start my day, and you can finish your day.
Yeah. Something like that.
Something like that. All right. I'll talk to you later, bro.
Phone call. All right. Later.
All right. Bye.
Bye.